Hey, it's Juan. Welcome to the August issue of your VMSA Sit Rep. We are here at the National Air and Space Museum on the nation's capital, on the mall here in Washington, D.C., and we're here with Deloitte senior consultant making a little bit of history, Noelle Nickham, our first Guardian, our first Space Force veteran. And you had to be the first because you were that first cohort who raised her hand to transition from the Air Force?
Yes, that's correct.
And then fulfilled that obligation. Came here as a Skillbridge Fellow.
I did.
So tell us about, through Hire Our Heroes. You're a native of Houston. You're an Air Force Academy grad.
Yes.
And tell us about that experience of finding out about the Space Force and the opportunity to transition.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started off in the Air Force, and I spent the last 4 years in Los Angeles. And at the time when I was still in the Air Force, it was the Space and Missile Center, which then became the Space Systems Command. And so I decided to raise my hand during COVID when the Space Force was enacted. And I was just so interested in this concept, this idea of a new force, right? I was already working in space programs, and they pitched this idea that we could help transform this new force. It was going to be the digital force, and so I thought, like, how cool is that? We're no longer fighting wars on the ground, so I wanted to be, in this, emerging technology, this emerging space opportunity. So I rose my hand. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's great.
And it was in February 18th. I'll never forget, because I have a huge family, and they decided to play the Star Wars theme song at my swear-in ceremony. So yes, I did have to swear back into the Space Force, which is a really, really cool opportunity. But while I was at Space Systems Command, I got the really cool experience and exposure to work on GPS. So everyone that navigated to work today or relies on that 24/7, or you make a big transaction, that came from the programs that we support over there in Los Angeles. From there, I got to work cybersecurity on a satellite communication program, and we were actually partnered with Norway to launch the payload into space. Norway is amazing. Loved working with those foreign nationals, so that was really, really fun. And then I decided to go support the front office at the command, so supporting the 1-star and 3-star general in the last couple years. And then ultimately, after some reflecting, I had to make the really difficult decision to go ahead and separate from active duty. I fully support the Space Force mission. I love what we do, and it was really important to me to be able to continue to add value to the mission and just serve in a different capacity. So I found out about Deloitte because they were helping support specific programs that we had going on and projects up in the front office. And so I met some senior leaders from Deloitte there, and then I got introduced into a program that you guys have called Hire Our Heroes. I'm a huge component of it, one, because that helped me get through, but I've never been met with such support. Obviously I only transitioned once, but I have nothing but positive things to say about the cohort. I got to work on a full project while I was in the fellowship, transitioning, and I was working on, the client was the World Economic Forum, and we were looking at, insights with regards to Earth observation, and not only harnessing the climate value, but also looking at the business value as well. With respect to Earth observation. I had a blast working with that team. Shout out to Sarah Horn. Love her. She was so supportive of my transition, and I have nothing but positive things to say about that team. They were instrumental in just firming up my decision to fully transition and accept an offer with Deloitte.
It's a great story. And you have shared with me that you're getting your traction at Deloitte, learning the culture, and then you'll make a decision about continuing to serve in the reserves, supporting the Space Force.
That's correct. That's my goal. I got a lot of goals. We'll see if it happens.
Super cool story. Now, here's what our crowd is going to want to know about. Do you have the Space Force issue service dress uniform with the Battlestar Galactica diagonal?
I do not want.
Okay.
So it's very expensive. They don't just issue those uniforms to you. And while it is a statement piece, I decided not to purchase it. I did have to try it on though. And let me tell you, it is super uncomfortable. So I do not wish my...
Although most of the time when you're wearing it, there's no gravity. So it probably feels different.
That is true. They definitely wear it up there in space.
Noelle, super cool story. We're really glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Hopefully the first of many.
Yes, absolutely.
And a point you were just making to me before, we're standing in front of this incredible mural of Neil Armstrong, of course, the first human to walk on the moon. Which service was Neil again?
I think he was Air Force.
Naval aviator.
He was not.
Hey, Noelle Nickham, track her down. Have a cup of coffee with her. Great asset. First of many Space Force Guardians to come. Space is going to be a big part of our Veterans Day event gathering in November. Noelle, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Fly Navy.